So, a little rant time. So, I believe that in sports, we are very seldom to call players the best player in the world when they're so young. We believe that there needs to be an element of consistency. You need to do this for 2 or 3 years, get some longevity under your belt. We need to see a long, massive span of production and evolution before we say that you're already the best in the world, or we even evaluate you to a point where maybe we feel like we shouldn't because we think it's too early. I'll never forget, not too long ago, I was watching a podcast where somebody was asked who was the most talented, not greatest, but the most talented player to ever play for the San Antonio Spurs. And one guy said, come on, you can't tell me that Victor Wembanyama isn't the most talented player to ever play for the Spurs. 7'4", that tall, can dribble like that, can shoot like that, can block everything at the rim, and has the handles of a guard. Are you kidding me? I understand Tim Duncan's their team GOAT, but Victor Wembanyama is already the most talented player to play for that organization. And the same thing is happening in football right now with Lamine Yamal, 17-year-old kid. And I am here to say I believe that kid is already the best player in the world. Not going to be, not about to be, not a future Ballon d'Or winner or something like that. I'm not saying he should win the Ballon d'Or this year, but I'm saying currently, right now, I believe that kid's the best player in the world. He draws so much attention to anybody that he's playing against that it feels like he's just terrorizing the entire side of the field. And all markers have to be on him. Him, a 17-year-old kid who is already the greatest under 18 player ever, you'd probably say. I mean, Messi didn't even debut for Barcelona until he was 17. And if you listen to documentaries and teammates talking about Messi back in the day, they even said, we knew that this 16-year-old kid was going to be the best player in the world one day. Well, I'm here to say I don't think Lamine Yamal is going to be the best player in the world. I think he is. If you take Lamine Yamal and the way that he plays and the attention that he draws, not just his stats, because I believe in football more than any other sport, stats can not tell the whole story. Just because you have X amount of goals and X amount of assists doesn't mean you're the best player. Kylian Mbappe led the Pichichi race, and I would still say that he was not even remotely close to the best player in the league. I think at least 2 different players on Barcelona played better than him all season. But if you just watch his production, if Lamine Yamal was 24, do you think he runs away with the Ballon d'Or? I mean, be completely honest. Do you think he runs away with it? Or do we think that because he's 17, we're a little bit more reserved than we think? It should go to Rafinha. It should still go to Mbappe because he won the Pichichi after so many people criticized him when he came early. It should go to Dembele because PSG got rid of Mbappe, who many people thought was already the best player in the world, and got better and destroyed Inter Milan in the Champions League final. But Lamine Yamal, the skill, the touch, the natural ability. So let's run through this game that just happened against France in the Nations League semifinal. So high action, first few runs of play. Kylian Mbappe has one chance. It was a horrible layoff by Dembele. It gets saved. And then Lamine Yamal comes in, and he's on the right wing. He always has 2 players come towards him. Desiree Doué, who was obviously the best player in the Champions League final, and Theo Hernandez, who of course is their left back. 2 guys are on him always at once. And like Messi, he's always just slow with the left foot, slow, and you're just waiting for me to break. Cut inside, cut back to my right, and continue dribbling that way. So they're just like, all right, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? What is he going to do? While that happens, Yamal is just gaining real estate and gaining real estate. He gets from maybe 35 yards out to the 18-yard box just by feeding them off because they're so afraid of what he's about to do. Makes one slight cut in, passes it in between both Desiree Doué and Theo Hernandez. Perfect pass into Oyarzabal. Oyarzabal, I can never say his name right. He does a great job of just handling his defender and then laying the ball off. Nico Williams bang goal. That goal doesn't happen if it wasn't for the attention that everyone had towards Lamine Yamal. They were so afraid of what he could do on that right-hand side. They brought 2 defenders onto him. Even the guy that was playing against one of Spain's attackers in the midfield was so afraid. Spain's defenders and was one of the attackers in the midfield, was so afraid of that. All he was doing was watching Yamal. He wasn't running into the box helping them defend or helping some of the wide passes around the 30-yard mark. He was just staring at Yamal. What is he going to do? And everybody else was. There was one less defender in the box because France knew they had to have 2 defenders on him, and Yamal passes to the middle, cooks them, bang, Nico Williams goal. Then there was the offside goal. Dean Housen scored the offside goal. I mean, after the free kick, that chip by Yamal into close to the 6-yard box was so perfect. It was so natural. You ever watch footballers and you can tell this guy trained for 100,000 hours in the gym, which is great, rightfully so. And this guy just rolled out of bed able to do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's why when we watch guys like Neymar, we're always like, he was just born with it. He was probably doing skills in the womb. And of course, you have to train hard, but there's something elegant about watching guys that are just so natural. And Yamal was doing this at 16. At 16 years old, he was the best player in the Euros last year. I know Raji won the best player award, but if you actually watch the games, you're like, Yamal was not just the best young player, the best player in the Euros at 16 years old. And he had a perfect chip in the box. Dean Housen scored. They were like a millimeter offside, so it doesn't count. But that was phenomenal by Lamine Yamal. Obviously, he draws the penalty. On the penalty that he converted, he was the one who drew it. His speed into the box and into close to striking distance where potentially he could threaten Mannion's goal threatens the defender so much that he's like, I can't stop this. I don't know what to do. I have to foul him. And he fouls him, totally clips him under, and he draws that penalty. And I'm so glad that they allowed him to take that penalty and didn't have one of their more natural strikers take the penalty. Yamal take the penalty perfectly in the bottom right corner. No problems there. He was so poised and calm, even at such a young age. It didn't seem like the moment bothered him 1 ounce. And that's what I love about Yamal. He is built for this already, and it's just so natural. And I think with athletes, we can tell who is adjusted and worked hard and, had to fight through some demons, and ones who were just born that way and built that way. And I'm not saying it's great not to work hard, because everyone has to work hard. You have to work your ass off. But the poeticness of seeing someone who's so natural, he converts the penalty, and then he scores the 4th goal as well. Perfect little toe dunk right into the bottom left corner, past Mannion, just a small slide ball. He had to stretch through every millimeter to the ball because he's obviously not a big guy. And he did that elegantly, and he just kept Spain did kind of fall apart towards the end of the match. We know that, but he just kept threatening that right-hand side, that middle. He's very underrated and, in front of goal, directly in the middle. He's not just a great winger. He has a very underrated right foot, an excellent right foot. Already one of the best passers in world football, maybe the best dribbler in world football. Incredibly fast, incredibly speedy. He's deceptively strong. I saw him going against Theo Hernandez all night, who isn't a small guy, and he was holding up with him. He was holding up his nose, pushing him off when he was trying to get the ball. And Desiree Doué when he was coming into midfield as well, Rabiot, etc. And he just caused France's defenders a living nightmare. And he has the confidence to back it up. I don't know if you heard, but he said that he believes the Ballon d'Or should be based on the entire season. But if they want to make it about Thursday, we'll make it about Thursday. And if he didn't shut everybody up with his performance on Thursday, whoo! And look, Kylian Mbappe said nothing bad about him. Obviously, Kylian Mbappe is a top 3 player in the world. We know what he brings to the table. But Lamine Yamal, being 9 years younger than him, could already be playing at a higher level than Kylian Mbappe by a lot. Vinny Jr., who I believe should have won the Ballon d'Or last season, he's already playing at a higher level than him. His own teammate Rafinha, they may be 1 and 2 in Ballon d'Or racing, obviously with Ousmane Dembele, who had a phenomenal year, given that he scored more goals this year than he had in his last 5 years combined with Barcelona and Dortmund as well. But Lamine Yamal is just the confidence that he brings, but also the poise, the elegance, and seeing this young talent spur on and just terrorize football at such a young age. And to think that he's only 17 and is only going to get better. His body's going to grow a little bit more. He's going to become even stronger, and he's not going to lose the speed. The footwork will always be there. The passing ability. When the team is in a dire situation like what happened today, I believe in a few years' time he'll step back and he'll be able to help his team defend, close attackers down when it's needed the most, and when you need to play boring football, maybe not the beautiful, poetic Pep Guardiola style football where it's just totally possessive and you need to be on the attack. He'll be able to do that, and everything will just grow and grow. It might be too early to say, but we may be looking at, from a talent perspective, maybe the next person that we put into that Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo conversation as one of the 3-4 greatest players who ever lived. And he's only a kid. Get out of here, fly. And he's only 17 years old. Unbelievable stuff by Lamine Yamal. I cannot wait for the final against Portugal. And it should be an absolute doozy, because Spain right now look like by far the best international side in the world, and nobody can touch them. Let's see if 40-year-old Ronaldo and all those skillful players with Bruno and Bernardo and Rafael Leao and Nuno Mendes and Vitinha can cause Spain any issues, but they have their hands full because Spain are absolutely buzzing. Mike Mourinho, Pedri, Unai Simon in front of goal, Dean Housen is about to join Real Madrid. I mean, I don't know how anybody touches with Spain right now. We didn't even mention that arguably their best player, I know I just said Lamine, but arguably their most important player, because the position that he plays, Rodri, has missed an entire year. Just imagine when he comes back. Obviously, that'll be after this tournament. He came back from Man City already, but comes back and is an actual regular for Spain consistently. They're probably already my early favorites to win the World Cup already. And it looks like Lamine Yamal will cement himself squarely as the #1 player to take off in world football. And you just cannot wait for this mediocre rise that this kid's about to go on.